And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. Also, as well, of course, Inside Sports, Fantasy Football. Probably Wednesday, I'm thinking that we're going to go ahead and do another episode. Chris Ardieri, hopefully Joe Soro as well. We'll be talking about what happened at NFL Week 6. Looking out for what's coming up in NFL Week 7. And we'll talk about all the things that are going on. Injuries. Aiden Hutchinson, again, that was brutal. Hopefully he will be okay. But also as well talk about what's going on in the world of fantasy football right there on Inside Sports Fantasy Football, wherever you get your podcast. I also host the Pop Culture Cosmos, like I said. We cover the latest news and trends in pop culture. On this week's episode, we reach back into our gaming memories and share some great stories. So if you haven't heard it yet, go ahead and check it out. Pop Culture Cosmos, wherever you get your podcasts. Our good friends, of course, starting with John Costa's channels, Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. Also as well, the Lakerholics crew at Lakerholics.com. Empire Jeff TV covering the Dodgers not winning today at Empire Jeff TV. Also as well, of course, yeah, just not a good day for the Dodgers fans today, but I think the schedule maker has much to do that with as anybody. But okay, it is what it is. Also as well, of course, John McCalian channel, Lakers in 5, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Yo! Of course, also as well, please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe today to get the latest notifications. Hit that bell. That'll let you know every time we go on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break podcasts. We're also, don't forget, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break tomorrow from Las Vegas as the Lakers and Warriors meet. I'm not sure yet 100% if I'm going to be going or not, but I will be seeing Aussie on the strip as far as meeting him for lunch beforehand. So I'm psyched about that. Always enjoy seeing and meeting you guys out there. Going to be seeing him and hopefully meeting some of his family as well. So yeah, looking forward to that. But either which way, I'm going to have the playback running. Playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break, 7 o'clock tomorrow for the Lakers and Warriors. And then after, of course, the best Lakers postgame that's out there is right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. And don't forget as well, like and subscribe. Plus also our awesome members, you're getting the big shout out right there. Go ahead and make sure you sign up today for just $2.99 a month. You get all the inside stuff that's coming out. You get to know when we go on the air first and foremost. You're actually getting the latest NBA season projections from us. The latest one I popped up there just earlier today. You got a chance to go ahead and check it out. It was Henry at Courtside Lakers on Instagram. He is our good friend. He popped his latest projections, and you can go ahead and check it out what it is. If you're a member, you've been getting them. So go ahead and check it out today for just $2.99 a month. It really helps us out right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Well, before we get into Austin Reaves and what we think he needs to do to go ahead and help the Lakers achieve the level of competitiveness in the Western Conference, there was a matter of the Dodgers earlier today, so I want to go ahead and get this out of the way. And, again, I felt that the schedule makers had a lot to do with it as far as putting it, right after a day game, right after a night game. Early on, pitching woes for the Dodgers. They had their opportunities to get back in the game. Twice they loaded the bases in the same inning. One time they scored a couple runs off it, and the other time, nothing. And that was, I think, the difference in the game. And Joe, being the Dodgers fan you had to be frustrated because, again, you cannot make crucial mistakes like that, like leaving men on base when you have the tying run come to the plate, Joe.
What was the question?
No, I'm just saying your comments on the game today.
What game?
The Dodgers.
What about the guy left on what?
Remember we were talking about it earlier, when they left the bases loaded, they had one out. Yes.
Yeah, that was That was the Dodgers had a chance to score some runs and really put the fear back in, but it's weird. Baseball is one mistake that the other team capitalizes on, and then it completely owns the game. That's pretty much what it is. It's one inning where you screw up and the game's over. Similar to kind of tonight's game with the Yankees in Cleveland. You saw Soto hit a home run, and then there was two wild pitches, and that was it. You know, Yankees had all the momentum the rest of the way, and they ended up winning. And then what? The Cleveland Detroit game. Cleveland hits a grand slam that takes them over the top. So yeah, it's likely going to be a good series. The Dodgers only have three pitchers that they can throw out there, and until these last two starts by Jack and Yamamoto, they really didn't have really any pitchers that you could say are even close to being a one. Yamamoto has been injured most of the year. He's a rookie. You could say he could be a comfortable two when he's on, but he's probably more of a three this year. Jack, kind of the same way. And Bueller is killing himself to be what he used to be. And he's, all kudos to him. I'm glad he's given it his shot. But the Dodgers have two staffs on the DL in terms of the amount of pitchers that are not available. These are starting pitchers, by the way. Imagine two staffs, 10 pitchers. I should say 8. And we knew going into this that the Dodgers are going to have to out-hit their opponent to win it all. And if the starting pitchers can hold their own for 5 innings at the very least, they do have a very, very good bullpen. So Wednesday, they go to New York for 3 games, and it's going to be consecutive games. Minaya changed his pitching style after he had faced the Dodgers earlier in the year when the Mets were kind of reeling. But he pitched well tonight, or I should say today. Definitely pitched really well against Ohtani. And that's their best pitcher. So the Dodgers have a little bit of an edge here going into New York, other than home field. All they got to do is likely take game 3, and then the momentum starts to shift more towards the Dodgers. The first game that the Dodgers won, even though it was a blowout, wasn't necessarily a momentum push. It's, the Dodgers are supposed to win game 1. The shift is always when the road team, the first team that win the road game, and that's what happened today. But if the Dodgers get that one back, now the Mets have to win 3 of the remaining 5 games, and they don't really have they won't have their best pitcher for the next game as well. Dodgers could very well, if they hit well the next 2 games, win the next 2 in New York. But then again, it could go the other way as well. Actually, I don't think it'll go. I think worst case, I think the Dodgers and the Mets are 2-2 after 4.
So this is going back to the old antiquated 2-3-2. Is that correct?
Well, it's always been like that in baseball.
Yeah, I was so happy when the NBA got away from that. I was just.
I wasn't. The Lakers won. The Lakers won 3 championships because of the 2-3-2.
Well, I just, it's not good. I just
in 1985 when they first put it in, and then the 1988, and then of course 2010. It was bad for them in 2004, but I don't know if that would have mattered. That's why I never really used that one. I think the Lakers were going to lose that series regardless. Their mojo was just gone after they beat Minnesota that year.
Well, we'll find out what's going on with the Dodgers. Joe will keep you in touch with that. It is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. It is Joe Soro, a.k.a.
That's a good one, Shay. I never thought of that. That's a true home field. advantage.
I could say that would be
That would be
that would
cool. That would be
be cool.
cool.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
give you
I
that
do.
one. By the way, for audio listeners, Chase said 3-3-1. Ralph D says Lonzo Ball is back. He is back. He did get a chance to play today. I mean, encouraging story after how serious his knees are. Whether or not he's going to be level of player he once was, we'll have to wait and see. But Joe, the focus for today's show is Austin Reaves, who is probably the biggest question mark, I think, of the starting five as far as what he can give you, what he is supposed to give you, what the fans hope that he can give, and ultimately what he does give for JJ Redick and the Lakers this season because of the fact that so much is required of him, being the off guard, playing sometimes defense, a lot of times on defense, unless Vanderbilt's in there, defense on the best wing or perimeter player that's out there. Then you got the fact he has to increase his shooting percentage because he struggled mightily to start the season on all facets and really didn't get it back together as far as shooting until later in the season. So he has to be more consistent right off the bat. Then, as a secondary distributor, he's been doing that well so far this preseason, but he had that more of that has to be required of him because again, you don't have LeBron as a point guard, so you want more of facilitating from him at that standpoint. So much is riding on the success or the increased development of Austin Reaves. Again, an undrafted player, already in his mid 20s, probably closer to his peak than people want to, say or otherwise. Your thoughts on Austin Reaves and how important he is to the team's success this season, Joe?
Because there's a deficiency in talent, he's very important. He does have an ankle injury. I don't know if they're going to keep him out until the season starts. Austin Reeves' ceiling is probably at its peak at this point. He could shoot a little bit better from three, but I think ball handling skills, his value is probably going to be what it is right now. And it's a pretty good one, although I believe it would be better if off the bench. Him playing off the bench will be predicated on how well Max Christie plays. If Austin Reaves is injured to start the season, ankles seem to be the theme of every injury, it seems, these days. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't know what's going on with ankles right now, but it seems like every injury that I hear about, doesn't matter if it's baseball, football, or basketball, it's some kind of ankle injury. I don't know what these guys are doing, that they're rolling on their ankles. Basketball, it's understandable because it's jumping in the air and you land on someone's foot and you turn it. That makes a little more sense. But if Austin doesn't play, let's say he's injured the first few games, they're going to have to give those minutes to Max Christie, and it's going to be 25 to 30 minutes. We're going to find out what his value is going to be there, and then we'll find out really how valuable Austin Reaves is as well.
We'll find out indeed, but with Austin, again, his ability to go ahead and advance, improve. JJ Redick seems convinced that that's going to happen, that he can take another step. There are many fans out there that are believing that if the Lakers are going to succeed this year and be a 50 wins plus team, that Austin Reaves has to be a big part of that equation. I just don't know that. I mean, we may have seen peak Austin Reaves, like you're saying, because again, there's only so much a guy that had limited talent. He's working and he's drawing off of limited talent and maximizing that talent. Give him all the credit in the world, Joe. Outside of his shooting touch, he may have maximized his entire ability as a basketball player already.
Yeah. There's a theme going on right now with him that he's going to miraculously turn into a very good player because the season starts. There are instances in preseason that beg to differ. There was going to be a talent increase. You would see it in the preseason. He's playing hard. He has no reason to not play hard. You see guys like LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They're not. I'm not comparing him to them, but look at how they're playing. They're playing like it's for 5 to 6 minute stretches. They're playing like the stars that they are. We would expect that Max Christie would play the same way up to his ability. The only time I've seen it is in spurts. One shot from the top of the arc, and then you kind of get, yeah, that one was nice. And he might maybe hit another one, and you're like, yes, nice. But then you don't really see him for 5 minutes. You don't really know if he's affecting the game. This team needs difference makers. It's stuck where it is unless there's difference makers in and around LeBron and AD. D'Angelo can be a difference maker, but he's also in high spurts. That's the separation between him and, let's say, the next guy. When he's on his high, he looks like a star. When he's on his low, he's non-existent. When he's just playing normal, he's okay. And that's just kind of how the scale on him goes. Then you have Rui, who in a lot of ways is kind of like the power forward tweener version of Austin. I don't know if he's ever really going to get better. I think he might have a ceiling as well. And that's why we've been discussing how both of them really belong on the bench, coming off the bench on championship teams, because Rui can come in and maintain what the first unit does. Austin can maintain the ball creation on the second team. I don't mind Austin Reaves playing against backups in second and fourth quarters with the ball. It's when he starts playing the elite guys where he starts to have trouble, and of course, playing defense against them as well. That's why those things all matter. When you look back on the Lakers' back-to-back championship with Kobe and Gasol and Lamar and Bynum, Lamar coming off the bench, besides the fact that it made sense based off the rotation, he was a devastating player against backups. And that was a huge advantage because Lamar Odom, much like Manu Ginobili, is really a sixth starter. They're not really bench guys. But because they were unselfish and performed better in that position versus if they were starters, and I say better in that they still would have been good starters, but they were better being the sixth starter. And if you watch their games, it made sense. It always makes sense when you can always have an advantage talent-wise and execution-wise at every position, whether it's the center position, whether it's 3 of the 5 positions, whether it's someone coming off the bench. All those things matter in a 48-minute game for 82 games out of the year, plus playoffs.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Joe Soro along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this and truly appreciate it. If you like what you see, and welcome to all the folks out there on Facebook. I started sharing to groups once again, Laker groups all over the world. If you like what you see, please follow us on Facebook or head on over to YouTube and be part of the conversation there and like and subscribe there as well. But Joe, great question so far in the chat as far as Seven asking if basketball is the hardest sport to play. In my opinion, I say rugby or the NFL. That's just my opinion. But JY, in a sec, dropped a good question about Austin. But let me see what your thoughts are. What is the toughest sport for you in your mind out there? Boxing? MMA?
Is it the hardest sport to qualify in? Is it the hardest sport to get to? Or is it the hardest sport to do? I don't think there's a harder sport than mixed martial arts. You look at a lot of these fighters after about 4 or 5 years, they're spent.
Yeah.
They look like presidents with cauliflower ear after 4 years. They take a toll. BJ Penn, I remember BJ Penn was a fighter, very good fighter, whom was excellent. He was great. He had a really good prime and was a very popular fighter. And towards the end, you just looked at him and you're, how is this guy standing up? And you're just seeing that through TV. I can only imagine what it looked like live. So I'd say the hardest sport right now, I think, is MMA, and it's exasperated because they're not really taken care of money wise. There's not enough money for those guys unless they get some kind of marketing through a gap somewhere where they're kind of owning things, something like McGregor, where he started getting into the whiskeys and he sold it and made a lot of money, and then of course he did the exhibition crap with Floyd. That gimmicky stuff is really what made him money. It wasn't necessary. It wasn't really MMA, or at least not the bigger money. The hardest sport, I think, is probably baseball. I don't know how these guys hit a 99-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Football, you'll notice that a lot of these football players, they're all guys that, well, let's say baseball and basketball players, you always seem to find basketball and baseball players whom were better football players. I think it's easier. I think it's easier to play football for those guys, except there is the injury factor. And the only reason why someone will play basketball or baseball above football is if they're not quarterbacks. And boxing, someone said years ago, and I thought it was a pretty good assessment. I don't know if it's true, but most of the guys that especially the heavyweights, most of those guys now are playing tight end in the NFL, or at least trying to play tight end in the NFL. Those 6'5", 250 guys, that's the Riddick Bows, the Lennox Lewises, those great heavyweight boxers. No one really wants to box anymore like they used to. They'd rather play football. They'd rather go play basketball. There's other sports and things like that to do, bodybuilding maybe even. I don't know. A lot more options for kids these days.
One of the other questions that you guys are putting good questions out there. I'm going to hit them off one at a time, but I try and remember as best I can on them. So stay with us here. One of the questions I do want to ask in regards to Austin Reaves, is he being now set up? Because remember, one time, Joe, he was an untouchable. He was someone that the Lakers had developed, success story from their development as an undrafted player to a player that seemingly was off limits in a trade when other teams came running to ask about him. Flash forward maybe a year later than that. Has that changed? And do you think ultimately he'll be like a rotation guy on a championship team?
I would have never said he's untouchable. I think that's ignorant to say.
But you heard those rumors that he was supposedly
Rumors, yeah, rumors mean nothing to me. I don't,
because of his trade value, and his
that's not true. That's just crap. That's just lies. The reason why they didn't do the trade for DeJounte Murray was because of the draft capital. If they had said we want Austin and a first round pick protected in the lottery, Rob would have done that trade in a heartbeat. But they wanted 2 firsts, allegedly. And you're not doing that for DeJounte Murray and Austin Reaves. You're not doing it for DeJounte Murray at all. At that point, you just go, look, it's top 18 protected at that point. You're over it. But I don't know how the details of that might have happened. I don't think I heard anything. There might be something out there, but I haven't seen it. Austin Reaves is not untouchable. There isn't a single player on this team that's untouchable. The longer this process goes, even AD isn't untouchable. They're not going to trade AD. They're not going to trade LeBron because there's no market for LeBron, and the only market for AD would mean revamping the entire philosophy of what the Lakers are right now.
It would have to even start at a first round pick for next year's draft, which the Lakers currently do not have.
Okay, yeah. I always seem, maybe because I'm a Laker fan, I keep feeling like, why is it that every discussion with the Lakers has to always be about fleecing the Lakers? If this is the case, I wish someone in the front office would just say, look, just leak it at this point. Go talk to Shams or whoever. We're not trading any first round picks anymore. We're done. We all know you're trying to fleece us. So eat it, you know what? They're going to have to run this until it's done because they're not going to do anything with LeBron. My fingers are crossed. My ears are flapped. My hair is down. My eyebrows are up. Whatever stupid luck, rabbit's foot thing that people say, that LeBron retires after this year. That's what needs to happen for this team to finally turn the page on this current world of LA basketball.
So again, we ultimately have said many times on this show that both he and Rui, probably their best destination as players, when you look at it, would be for both of those guys to be guys, your sixth and seventh man coming off the bench for a playoff or championship team. If everything worked out perfectly and you had enough depth, you had a good roster supported, that's ultimately, I think, where their best chance at a long career lies. Because I don't think as starters, I just think they're always going to be not anywhere near the upper half of starters in this league at their position. So that being the case, and the Lakers suddenly got a sense of clarity and said, you know what? I understand that JJ's going to start his starting five that was 23-10 that got the Lakers into the playoff mix. I get that, and they're going to stick with it. But if it does go awry and they want to make a change, and Austin is the one that ultimately goes back into it, would you see that happening as a betterment for the team of him going back to the bench, being the sixth man, leading maybe possibly as a sixth man of the year type role, and then putting in maybe a Dalton or Max, whichever you guys out there like the best?
I don't know. I don't understand this hard on for Austin to come off the bench when you only have two starters on this team.
Well, they just don't have the depth
Everything
now.
is if. Everything's an if. If connects. If Max Christie is whatever they're saying he is. If. There is no ifs. There's no ifs. We already know who this team is. We're not stupid. Where are you gonna? What are you gonna put him on the bench for? Connect would have to play better defense than Austin Reaves. Can he do that? Okay, we'll see. Can Connect handle real NBA competition for 82 games? Most rookies can't. So you're gonna start him, and then everything goes well with Austin off the bench? There's too many ifs. Every goddamn the discussion is ifs. I'm not looking for ifs. I'm going to gauge this team when the season starts. They're going to start in what, 8 days?
Yep.
I'm watching all these videos with JJ Redick, wasted about 12 minutes listening to Austin say absolutely dick. Everything was a cliche on top of, I don't even know the words. I don't know. I got to read more books to know the word I'm thinking of. This nothing. It reminded me of the scene in Distinguished Gentleman when Eddie Murphy apparently wins something, and he's basically just repeating what every politician in the history of politics in the real world. He just repeated lines, and everybody was just cheering. You see that all the time now. All they have to do is get on the podium and go, "We're here to make a difference. Yeah, we're gonna go forward. Yeah." What are you cheering about? Just strings, puppets. You all want to do that? You all want to listen and ifs and whats and shoulds and bees? Look, I'm not mesmerized by J.J. Redick's beautiful words and beauty. I'm sitting there watching the reporters look at him like this, like he's Jesus. And then I gotta hear through the grapevine, through the chat, that Tom is calling him something, I don't know, euphoric. So you can't blame it on people who kiss ass in the media. You can't blame it on millennials, Gen X, Gen Z, Gen 69, whatever the hell generation it is. Everyone is in on the BS from all walks of life. Why? Because delusion. If we were more realistic, and mind you, I love movies. I used to love wrestling. I don't hate wrestling. It's just I don't care for the product now. We know Iron Man isn't real, but we go into those 2 hours and enjoy the movie. This is real. This is real competition. Well, at least it used to be, because they're going to put that chump in the game in a real game against a team that's a title contender at a time where you are 0-11 for the last 11 openers. And the first discussion is, oh, he's going to play in this game. So pardon me if I'm not very enthused about the constant stupid questions about whether Austin is better on the bench. Okay, he's better on the bench. Who the hell is going to play his position then when it's starting time? Maxwell Lewis? Christian Wood? You got a apparent backup center who's got a blood clot. Who's doing the physicals here? Did anybody do the physical here? Did anybody check on this guy? I didn't hear about no blood clot before he signed. I heard nothing about a blood clot. All of a sudden he comes to LA, he's got a blood clot.
Well, that's the reason why he didn't play last season, was because of those issues. Now, supposedly he's been cleared by LA team doctors and also as well his own doctors, but the league has yet to clear him play.
Of course the Lakers have cleared it because they need him. They need a body.
Speaking of which, Dan Inspiration's asking, would you trade Austin Reaves in a first rounder for Kessler and Sexton? I would. No. But I don't think that Danny Ainge would ask for just one first rounder.
No. Kessler is not going to do anything worth those kind of things. No. Unless it's heavily protected. 14. I'll give him one protected in the lottery. Sure. But if you move Austin, now you have a hole in that area. You plug one hole and then you got another hole now. I don't trust Max Christie, folks. And Dalton Connect is a rookie. You all heard what Stone Hansen said 2 shows ago. Stone knows his stuff. Stone, for 2 years, watched, 13, 14 hours of high school, college, international basketball, pro basketball. Stone knows what the hell he's talking about. Rookies don't make an impact on championship teams. Very, very rarely. Sam Cassell, Courtney, why do I always forget his last name? Courtney, what's his name from Orlando in 09?
Courtney Lee?
Courtney Lee. And then Lively to some degree, but he wasn't a starter. So it's not, you cannot depend on Connect. It's not fair in general to think that way for your own mindset. There's some people talking about how Connect needs to start so you can put Austin on the bench. Where do people pull that out of? Their ass or their ear?
Okay.
He didn't start in the playoffs, Juan. He only started a few games in the regular season. Look at the stats.
You're talking about Lively?
Yeah.
See, because I thought he started for a while before they got.
He started, but he didn't start a lot.
Because they made the trade and then they started the kid from that came over from the Wizards. So I'll get it when I can. So yeah, but yes, it is of course the Lakers fast break. Joe, as we look at see what he started 42 games last year. Just to let you know for Derek Lively. But welcome everyone. Again, it is the Lakers fast break. Truly appreciate you joining us. Back to Austin Reaves. Where do you think Austin Reaves can improve? Obviously, the jump shot, a lot of people have been talking about. It has not looked good this preseason, but it is the preseason. He does have the ankle injury that's slowing him down. He says he's close to 100%. So he said he's thinking about playing tomorrow. He's not quite sure. I'd hold him out if you're just not even sure. It's the preseason, but I don't think it's something that will slow him down for the start of the year. But obviously his shooting has come under fire a little bit because it's not where I think a player like him needs to be, because he can only give you so much through those other facets of the game, and his defense is he gives you the effort, but where he needs to improve is his shooting, and to have an additional 40% 3-point shooter out there sure would help us, Joe.
He can improve his 3-point shooting a little bit. That's it. He can go from 38%, 37% to 40, 41, let's say. That's the last improvement area for him. His athleticism isn't going to get better. He's not going to grow taller. He could get better with handles, but I don't know if his workout regimen is to that degree, especially considering he spent most of his time this summer playing golf. You're not going to get better handles playing golf and basketball.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't disagree with you on that. Again, a lot has to do work out well for Austin Reaves to take that next step. I think, again, he's only going to give us so much. And we don't have right now proven alternatives in Max Christie and also as well Dalton Connect. So you're stuck with leaving him in the starting lineup. The starting lineup did go 23-10 and has proven to be competitive against virtually other team in the league. But with that, all those players, Joe, have to be healthy. They have to stay in the lineup, and they have to keep playing at a really strong level. They can't go through, down periods like we saw with, of course, D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reaves, especially during the beginning of the season. They can't get off to a bad start, Joe, because really, if this team gets off to a bad start, it can really spiral from there.
The Lakers have a bad start. It'll spiral.
They said it could. I said if it
No, it will. We've seen it 2 years in a row. There's no spiral. It's going to be the result of the talent pool. And by the way, Christian Braun on Denver's team his rookie year, didn't he average like 4 points a game? Yes, I know he had a couple of nice plays as a defender and all that, but I think a lot of you guys really have a hard time understanding what impact means. I guess everybody has a different idea what impact means.
Yeah, he was just 4 points a game.
Especially when we're talking about the Lakers, not a Denver team that was stacked in 2023.
But with all due respect, he did play well by the time the playoffs and then ultimately the NBA Finals came around.
He did, but would you say that he was the difference maker in the playoffs?
Not as much as Brown, if that's
okay. When you say impact, maybe the term impact is different than my understanding of impact, especially when you're factoring in. We're talking about the impact of what this team needs. Is Dalton Connect going to be Rookie of the Year? You want to ask yourself that question.
Likely not.
Is he going to play rookie of the year type basketball? If he does that, he's probably averaging 20 points a game.
For rookie of the year, not done with this rookie class.
No.
No, there's no one that stands out. The only player that is a rookie that's guaranteed to start is Zach Edey in Memphis. Most players, or like Castle, Shepard, those guys are going to get burned off the bench like Connect. Connect, if he does well, he's going to get 20, 25 minutes a game. Eventually, maybe not right away, but he'll get 20, 25
How do you
minutes
know?
a game before the end of the season. If he progresses, Joe, if he progresses.
If. It's hard to depend on a rookie, especially when it comes to winning championships. Even Lively, as well as he played last year, was completely neutralized in the playoffs. In the finals. It's hard. It's hard to be great as a rookie. That's why Magic was the last rookie to make the ultimate impact. That was 45 years ago. But
with Austin, no. Go ahead.
But with Austin, I don't really have any. We know who Austin is, and I believe, other than a few more shots going in from downtown, I don't see any other improvements this year from him.
He is leading the team in assists during the preseason. But Dan Inspiration, I give him a lot of credit. He pointed out the fact that he's not happy with his assisted turnover rate. His turnovers has been a little bit sloppy at times, but then that comes a lot off the handle that you and I have been criticizing for many a year. So again, Austin Reaves, so many things, like you said, have to come into play for the Lakers to be at the level everybody here on the show wants them to be at. And one of those things is, will Austin take that next step this coming season?
No, it's not his game. He can handle the ball well enough to get to the paint, create contact, and he was doing really well getting those and ones, but that doesn't last. That doesn't last as once you get into a series, once the stake gets higher, they're gonna close off that lane. There's more energy, there's more focus on stopping something that most of the athletes in the NBA can stop just one-on-one. Austin has to hit open shots all year. If he wants to be better, if he wants to help this team win, shock everyone, advance his talent, he has to shoot incredibly well from the 3-point shot. That will open up everything. That will open up AD. That will open up LeBron's game. Common sense, right? And it will also open up everyone else.
Well, again,
how JJ Redick's offense will materialize is predicated on that.
And he has talked about Austin Reaves being an integral part of his offensive schemes, Joe. And with that, efficiency has to come into play. Plus, also the fact he's going to ask Austin, or he has asked Austin, to attempt more threes, just like he's asked the team to attempt more threes this season. He was only joking about the 50 attempts per game, but achieving 40 attempts per game is ultimately, I think, a goal that he realistically, JJ Redick, has in mind.
My assumption is that JJ Redick wants more threes because that'll hide his players' deficiencies better. And it would if they make the shot regularly. So the question was, can they? I saw Austin Reaves in the first game shoot a lot. We also saw a lot of bricks being thrown. Everything we're talking about here is based off of, there's two things going on here. Number one, I think it's quite obvious that I'm not your conventional type. I don't just say things to make you feel good. I don't care about making you
You
feel.
think?
You let me finish.
Yes.
So all this stuff with the interviews and the blushing and the jerking off on all the pretty things that this team has, the story of father and son, JJ Riddick and his perfect hair and the way he speaks to people, you know, for the Dunskies out there that get mesmerized by all that fake shit. There's a few of us out there that smell that, turn our heads, and roll our eyes because it's empty until it's not. Right now, you're telling me that things are going to change because a guy who's never done this job is all of a sudden going to make people who are not capable of doing what needs to get done to win a championship. That's what I'm being told. Maybe I don't know what JJ Riddick has up his sleeve. Maybe he has something he's keeping secret. And he's going to make me, you, whoever that's on the more of the negative side, look like assholes. Cool. Please make me look like one because that means the Lakers are winning and I'm going to be a very happy man. Believe me, I want to be wrong a lot. I really do. If this can materialize into a 50-win team and they're competing and and that catapults Rob and Jeannie to go, let's go after this. Let's go get one more guy. And they do. Hell yes. I'd be glad to eat dirt for that. Not literally. Glad to eat dirt. You all can pile on easy. You can sit here and just call me whatever name you want and I won't react to it. About that. Is that a good deal, Gerald? I want to be wrong. Believe me. But it's not realistic. Get a chef. I'm going to use a nice little comparison here. If you're going to bring a chef to cook with dull knives, he can't cook the way he needs to cook. No matter what food he has, he can't get it done in a timely manner. So I don't know if JJ Riddick has a special sharpener for those knives that no one knew about. I want to find out. No, I don't like to use the word crow. That doesn't make sense to me. But you're right. Crow is the popular saying.
JY says offense sells tickets and defense wins games. What about the defensive side of the ball, guys, when it concerns Austin Reaves? Again, first few months, especially coming off that poor defensive showing in FIBA ball last year, he continued to be somewhat of a turnstile, basically playing absolutely terrible defense for a good part of the year. Then the last 2 months, something clicked, Joe. Something clicked in him to give greater effort on the defensive end, and he did. He played solid defense and should get a lot of credit for playing tough defense for a good part of the series in Denver against Jamal Murray. Mind you, Murray still hit those clutch shots at the end, but you look at his overall numbers being so terrible in that series against the Lakers, and a lot of that has to be due to Austin Reaves' effort out there. But it cost him on the offensive end. I think he was just so tired going one way, he just couldn't give you the kind of efficiency you needed on the other. But what are you expecting from Austin Reaves on the defensive end this season?
Even if he mimics what he did in the playoffs, we've discussed how Austin Reaves doesn't have elite athleticism. You can usually get away with playing both ways if you have some athleticism that can cover some ground. But he has to struggle to get open, to have space, to dribble into traffic. It's not in the cards for him. And having him do it in a series like that is a little easier too, instead of having to depend on it for 82 games. He would need to have triathlon-like stamina to probably maybe even get close. I don't know if it would be all the way, but close. And we've already found out that he's been playing golf. And last time I played golf, I just don't get a lot of cardio when I'm doing it. I just sweat a lot if it's hot, and I sometimes rub the skin off here, but I put a Band-Aid on it. It's fine. I mean, I could play 36 holes sometimes if I really want to, because we're in a cart. If I'm walking 18, maybe I can play comfortably for another 9. But usually 2 18s walking, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel the fatigue of swinging the club.
Well, there you go with Austin Reaves. Again, Austin Reaves will continue to play a major role for this team going forward. How big? We'll wait and see.
That's
But-
funny, BTS. We need Jalen Brunson. That's funny.
Yeah.
Hey, we need Giannis. How about Wembanyama? We need him too. Who else?
Just talking from.
How about Jokic? We need Jokic. Jokic because we need a center, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jokic.
Wow.
That'd be nice.
He'd be easy to get. Yep. But with that, it is the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us. Don't forget tomorrow, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. And of course, after the game, it is the best Lakers post game that's around. Of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Eric says we could have drafted Brunson in 2018 over Svi. Svi's in Utah now. And Mo Wagner, who's playing on Orlando at this point in time. Yeah, could have drafted Brunson, absolutely.
I don't think anyone, even Dallas, thought
Dallas didn't even know. They let him go because they didn't want to pay him.
No one sees a 5'11" guy all of a sudden become a star like that. That's a rare one. He's almost Chauncey Billups like without the hitches in the beginning of his career.
So with that,
also New York, Tibbs sets his offense to let him roam and do his thing, and everyone plays defense. It's probably why Randall was struggling a little bit with that, because he couldn't do his isolation stuff. He wanted to be the all-star player, but his game doesn't translate to winning that way. And what's going to happen with Cat up over there? They're just going to tell him, just go stand over there. We'll get you the ball. He's going to essentially be a corner guy. He'll be a corner guy. He'll be a $50 million corner guy. Watch, because he ain't going to do anything on defense. I'll tell you that.
So with that, it is the Lakers Fast Break again tomorrow. 7 p.m. playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break, and then of course
I might not be available tomorrow, but I'll let you know.
That'll be great news to hear if you will or not. Hopefully, I can get John Costa on the post game. I don't think I'll be able to do a pregame because I'll be coming back for the strip. Hopefully, being able to see Aussie tomorrow. So always great to meet a fellow fan and a fellow observer of the Lakers Fast Break and a fellow fan of the Lakers themselves. But Joe, before we head on out, I guess the major news today in the NBA was, Philadelphia already incurring some injuries with Paul George hyperextending his left knee. Doesn't seem too serious, although we'll probably get word on it tomorrow exactly how serious it is. Joel Embiid is out for the entire preseason because they're holding him out. Any last thoughts, my friend, on anything that's going on in the NBA before we head on out? Gotcha. You're on mute. Gotcha.
Yeah, Paul George getting injured today. He hyperextended his knee. That's not good. They were hoping this wouldn't happen later, and it's happening already. The Sixers might have to caution themselves and be careful here throughout the year. Nick Nurse is going to have to probably nurse these guys well throughout the year. If anybody can do it, he can. The issue with that injury and those guys in general, if they're not, no one's 100% at the end of the year, but if they're not capable, that now adds more chance of the Boston Celtics succeeding again. And that, if Boston wins back-to-back titles, the experiment is a complete failure, even with the title in 2020 at this point.
I'd probably say 7. If you want a brunch type deal and you're in Vegas, I'd probably want to go to the Egg and I. They've got like 2 or 3 similarly linked places around Las Vegas. If you're into that, they have great lunch specials. They also have obviously tremendous breakfast specials. I'd probably lean towards that. If you're not into, just the regular normal fast food chain stuff like that that's out there, I'd probably suggest that that's off the strip. That's where I'd go. So that seems to be one of the better places to go. That's where I'd start. But yeah, if you ever have any advice on or that you need on Las Vegas, places to go, restaurant, I'll send you guys a list whenever. Just hit me up, LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com. So yeah, always great to meet you. Again, Aussie and I hopefully will meet up and maybe we could share some pictures on our Fast Break Facebook page. I'll see if I could throw it out there and see him. And I know he's a Mets fan, Joe, but still, obviously it'd be great to see someone that's have been spending so much time the past 2 weeks here in the States. I'm just so grateful for him wanting at least to spend a little bit of time with one of us here at the Lakers Fast Break, Joe. So yeah. Bloodhound, yes, they do have a good one at South Point, but yeah, for 21 and over, as far as the sports book, the Circa, you got to do the Circa and bring your bathing suit because that's probably the best sports book / pool combo in town is the one at the Circa. So dying to go to that one again. That one's a lot of fun. That's downtown, by the way. So yeah, South Point is good. I've been there quite a few times as far as their sports book as well. So I've been to a lot of the sports books here in town. It just whether to bet or just to watch stuff, yeah, absolutely, it's always good. The Las Vegas Hilton back in the day used to really have one. What it is now, yeah, it's still good, but yeah, that's Mirage, rest in peace, used to be really probably the place I went to most outside of some of the other.
What are Tinder girls? Are they? I know Tinder, but are you talking about Tinder as in Tinder girls, the girls that like to have you pay for stuff? Now they have you pay for stuff?
Gerald, are the Tinder girls? What are you talking about? The Tinder girls? I don't get it.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Gerald, are the Tinder girls?
Are they working girls? Are there working girls? Oh, on the strip.
Oh, okay. So Tinder.
Yeah, that's because they have the cards. Yeah, they give you the cards for the massages.
Oh, those.
Yeah.
No, those aren't Tinder girls. Those are skanks.
I'm assuming, yes, they do still advertise it quite a bit. They're in certain areas along the strip that you will get still handed, or offered that, but they crack down a lot on it. The Vegas Police Department has cracked down on they can't do it on the bridges anymore. You can't stay stationary on the bridges anymore because of all the solicitors that are there.
It took every ounce of energy not to say something in front of everyone. I didn't want to cause a ruckus.
I like because I told you the story about
dirty ass women in thongs with children walking around in the daytime.
Oh, that's the one where the showgirls. This was
right after. This was right after COVID bull crap, and this is what made me hate Vegas. Actually, the fact that they were trying to make up ground from all that time they lost money, and they were whoring things out at a record level. I don't Vegas. I hate all those things. I just can't stand them.
Yeah, there's the
manipulative part. I'm not gonna front.
Well, can I just explain it to our audio audience real quick? Yeah, they have ladies that are out there that walk the strip that are dressed in like showgirls. There's also like a Mario, other popular characters, people dressed up. you could take pictures with them for money for that. But there's also, if you're on the strip, there are they're lesser. They're quite a bit. They're not as frequent and not as bad as it was in the old days because again, police has tried to clean a lot of it up. But there's people soliciting, and they try to give you cards with numbers on it and pictures of ladies that supposedly will come to your hotel room and give you a massage or go escort you on a date or something like that. I don't know what these prices are. That's up to you. You call these numbers, whatnot. Whether it leads to anything else as far as, dare I say it, prostitution or anything else, which is illegal in Clark County. In Pahrump, they have that legalized there, but in on the strip, they try to control that as best they can, but it's still out there because it is Sin City to an extent. Um, I will say the funniest thing though is when they were showing, like Joe talked about, those cars as you're walking by, because there's thousands and thousands of people walking by each and every hour on the strip at various parts of the strip. So funny because my friend one time, a long time ago, stand-up comedian, and he was with me and he was walking on the strip, and they were doing this. They go like this: they tap their hands, they tap with the card, and then to get your attention, and then they give it to you. So he takes it right, and he takes like Joe. Get this. This is what you should do. You take it. You take the card. You go walk about 5 steps. You do this thing like you're looking down at it, and then you look back and you go right back in their face. And, hey, that's my sister. And it freaked them out, and they ran away. Oh, that was funny. I thought it was funny. So I just thought it was funny. So everybody thought it was funny that I was around there because he was just BSing them. So, but yes, that's life on the strip for you. For the most part, it is fine. People, you go out on the strip, you go to a lot. There's a ton of places to eat, ton of places to go ahead and see. Casinos are all not just for gambling. There's plenty of things to do. Shopping is at a premium as well. I know Joe says it's a cesspool and all that. I'm not going to change his mind, nor am I going to change his mind. But people out there, have fun. Have fun.
I loved the movie Sin City. Just so you guys know, I'm still a guy, and I do like certain things but it's got to be a special circumstance. So for those of you who have seen the movie Sin City, Jessica Alba is dancing on a pole. I'm not going to be against that.
That's at the clubs down off the strip. I'll just say that.
And yeah, it's not. By the way, fascinating story. I'm glad you liked it.
But Eric, that was hilarious. Again, when you're hanging around stand-up comedians, they all try to one-up each other. That's all they do.
We get approached online. I shoot the PlayStation 5. Then the occasion that I'll play a video game every now and then, you get the messages through the PlayStation, and of course, right away it's someone you don't know because they always start the conversation with hello. But I'll placate it. I'll roll with it. I'll go, hi, who is this? And then some whatever will end up saying, who do you want me to be? And then I'll think of something creative like, I want you to be dead is what I want. I'll fuck off. And then they'll stop messaging.
BTS, I don't know. Again, I haven't been to one in decades. I've told the story here on the air that back in the 90s, we did a bachelor party, a few friends of mine for this guy, bachelor party, and we dropped, what, $2-3 grand at that time in 90s money, to tell you what that'd be. That's probably about 10 grand now with inflation and all that. So yeah, dropping that and just seeing him go from one room to another room and then paying more money and him going one room, one other room. And these girls, they're giving you the sob stories. They're telling you they're college graduates or they're trying to work their way through college, be it blah, 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 whatever. I've known a few when I was working at my various jobs in and around the strip. You get to know them and know they tell you exactly what kind of money they're making and all that stuff like that. So it's big money, but no, I don't know. Because it's out there, Joe, and it's off the I-15. Hustler, since it's right down the street from Allegiant, I guess maybe that's one you would want to go to, guys. I don't know.
I don't like going into those either. I had friends back in the day that would go.
It's too much money, man.
No, it's not even the money. It's everything's a dildo, and then I feel gay in there. I leave.
What's that strip club next to the Excalibur?
And I don't believe in paying for. I don't believe in paying for it. That's why I don't like strip clubs either.
Is
I don't
that
like.
stage door?
Yeah,
I don't think
I'm
that's
not paying for
stage
any of
door.
it.
There's no. Is there still a strip club next to the? There is no strip club next to the Excalibur because it's what's next to the Excalibur is Luxor and Mandalay Bay. If you're talking about down the street, I think probably the Hustler is the closest one to it. Yeah, because there's no.
Wait till opening night, BTS.
Yeah, because across the street from the Excalibur, guess what? Was the Tropicana, which is no more. That's where the baseball stadium is going to go. So,
I don't think it's gonna. I mean, I guess I could do it in comedy. Bill Burr does well.
can I ask Henry and Joe? I've been.
I want to
Catching...
do a roast. I really want to do a roast. Comedian, like go on stage and travel and all that.
Oh, the Stratosphere. Oh, okay, that's different.
What the hell are you talking about?
He's somebody was talking about they mistake the Excalibur and the Stratosphere. That's like one end of the strip to the other.
It's one dirty butthole next to the other one. Who gives a crap about the Stratosphere or Excalibur? You ever been in those places?
Yeah, the Stratosphere.
The rug is
bad.
from the Regal Beagle.
The area around the Stratosphere is not good. They don't have that developed yet. So, yeah,
Hey,
I'll just leave it at that.
well, it's funny. Trump called Elon Leon. Leon.
I think it's Olympic Gardens.
That was funny. That was funny. He called Elon Leon in one of his speeches. I don't know if it was the one yesterday or 2 days ago, but that was pretty funny.
I think what you're talking about is the Olympic Gardens. I don't know if it's still open or not. Yeah. It's reopened as the Peppermint Hippo. I'm reading up here. So,
what are you talking about?
He wanted to know what the strip club was next to the Stratosphere.
Who cares?
He did, obviously. He's asking
Sapphires.
I think Sapphires is closed.
I took my buddy to his bachelor party gig to Sapphires.
I think Sapphires is closed.
Wet Republic first, where all the naked people were, half naked people were, and the pool, where the pool felt like gallons of piss. And then Sapphires later that night or the next day, I can't remember what it was.
No, Sapphire is still open.
That was the same weekend I ate at Mastro's, the greatest steak I ever ate in my life.
Sapphire is still open. My bad.
I would do Joe Rogan. I would do a Joe Rogan show because I want to tell Joe Rogan why everything he says is the greatest thing that's ever existed. I want to ask him that question. I don't think anyone's ever asked him that question.
I remembered it as Olympic Gardens, Evan. That's how dated it is to me. So, but yeah, it's Peppermint Hippo. Sapphire is still open. There was another one. There's been a few.
Peppermint Hippo.
The one that was.
What is that? Plus size strip club?
I don't know. I remembered it driving by it as the Olympic Gardens. So that was it forever.
I'm not paying $270 for a steak. Sorry.
Where would you pay $270 for a steak?
Michael's Steakhouse.
Oh, there you go. The one that was famous in Ocean's 13. That one I think is close to. Yeah. So yeah. Again, you guys, I'm done. I'll try to figure out the questions for you on that, but I can tell you better on eating spots, hotels, things of that nature. The strip clubs, again,
it's a fabulous conversation, Gerald. I can't wait to continue it in the future.
Yes. Well, you always talk about it being a cesspool, so I'm answering our chat's questions, man. So
it's not about answering the question. It's about the fact that you just spent 10 minutes of my life and wasted it on Skankvilles.
You've done the same to me and wasted 10 minutes of my life with some of your rants as well. So there you go.
The rants according to the sports we're talking about, not some
not always based on sports.
In the middle of God knows what, Freedom Town over there.
You go on your soapbox about your culture wars and all your politics.
When do I talk politics? Every time I say the word senator, you start to cringe.
your culture wars and your
Just
Gen X and being a man and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's true though.
I know, but I'm saying you go on your soapbox too.
So what
Bloodhound, you are
soapbox?
correct. Really good Thai food here in Las Vegas. Several spots here in town. Yes. We just had one the other day that we went to near UMC hospital, main hospital here in town.
Yeah, BTS. I'm a Dodger fan.
And I love Sin City too, by the way. Great movie. Yes, I will agree with you.
Second one sucked. Don't watch the second.
Yeah, let's not worry about it. That's like Bronny. He shall not be named. But I think Jeremy was asking a question about Otani. So you're expecting, like you guys talked about in the email, that you're expecting a big game sometime soon for Otani.
What?
You're expecting Otani to break out at some time soon. Is that correct?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, yesterday's game, he was 2 for 3 and almost hit one out, at a double, at a single, at a walk. I think maybe he's due a home run, and it'd be nice to do it in Citi Field.
BTS, it's hard to be swept if you've already won a game like they did today.
Yeah, BTS, we don't. This was never going to be a sweep. If anything, we said 5, which is still possible, but it's likely 6.
That's why he doesn't know, because it was an afternoon game. Who made this schedule, Joe? Should have been a night game. Why don't you make
Rob
this thing?
Manfred, it makes Bud Selig look like Pete Rozelle. Let's just leave it at that. I don't even think Rob Manfred cares about that. I don't even know if he knows anything about baseball. They had an account to run this league. They really did. I don't know what his point is. I don't even know where he is. Do you ever see Rob Manfred anywhere?
No, that's a good question. Yeah, I don't.
I mean, to some degree, that's kind of cool because who cares about the commissioner? Go do your job. But I hope his absence is figuring out how a third of his teams don't have a regional TV station. How does Major League Baseball have an issue showing games this late in the game? Just, I don't know, surprised.
Well, with that, it is the Lakers fast break. Yeah, unless it's the World Series, Eric Coin. Yeah, absolutely good point. Truly appreciate you joining us, Serge, and also as well, JSJ. Great job moderating the chat today. Truly appreciate it. Bloodhound, big shout out to you. So, of course, BTS as well. 7, of course, Ralph D. Everyone out there, truly great to have you aboard what we're doing. Joe, tomorrow we'll try to make do as best we can. You said you probably won't be available for tomorrow, but I'm hoping you will maybe sneak in some time. We'll see. But yeah, going to go ahead and continue tomorrow with more projections if you're a member. So please join today. It's just $2.99 a month. It helps us out, as far as keeping the lights on here for the show and the channel. We keep talking to you, and hopefully we'll be able to go ahead and continue great shows like the one tomorrow. Looking forward to meeting Aussie. And again, if you guys ever want to meet up with one of us, Joe's in Temecula, I'm in Vegas. So just go ahead and let us know. Lakers Fast Break at yahoo.com. So have you met, you would go out of your way to go meet someone that follows the show, right?
Anyone from Australia?
They have to be from Australia. That's the thing. Like you wouldn't meet
I'm just saying,
Darren?
for sure, Australia if I could.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Don't diss Darren. Darren's been here. He's been so great. Jeremy Otani. So Otani can pitch also. Hey.
No, not till next year.
Yeah, he's like most. I mean, they teased that during the start of the playoffs that he might be available to play, but I doubt it. I don't think Dave Roberts is going to go there. I don't. Unless Otani comes to him and says he wants to do it. So. And with that, it is the Lakers Fast Break. Tomorrow, the Lakers play the Warriors in preseason action right here in Vegas, and we'll go ahead and cover it all right here for you at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. for something?
What?
You sounded like you relieved yourself.
Can I breathe without thinking of something dumb?